This disturbing footage comes from a mental hospital in Russia where a patient was captured on camera exhibiting bizarre and unexplainable behavior. His movements growing more erratic as the time passes. As the video progresses, the man begins pacing back and forth in his room, making sudden erratic movements. At times, he seems to be talking to someone or something that is not visible in the footage. His actions grow more unsettling as he begins clawing at the walls and then suddenly stopping, staring intently at a corner of the room, as if transfixed by an unseen presence. The most horrifying moments comes near the end of the footage. The man lays down on his bed, but within seconds, his body begins to levitate, rising a few feet above the bed. His limbs dangle unnaturally as he floats motionless, defying any logical explanation. The security camera captures the eerie moment before the man suddenly drops back onto the bed. Paranormal enthusiasts claim this is evidence of possession or otherworldly interference. However, those who were there insist the event was real, and many staff members reportedly refused to enter that room again. This chilling footage begins with the hospital security guard noticing a woman walking into the lobby late at night. The video shows the guard walking toward her, appearing to offer assistance. As the guard reaches the elevator, he waits patiently, glancing around as if ensuring the woman is nearby. But what he doesn't know is that his colleagues monitoring the CCTV cameras are witnessing something entirely different. The so-called woman the guard is speaking to is completely invisible. His colleagues immediately call him, warning him that there is no one with him. The guard, realizing what he is experiencing, freezes for a moment near the elevator before suddenly running back toward the lobby, clearly terrified. When asked about the incident later, the guard insisted he saw a woman in a white dress. Whether it was a ghostly encounter or a trick of the mind, this footage remains a haunting reminder that some things are beyond explanation, especially in places with a history of tragedy. This chilling footage starts with the lone investigator exploring an abandoned hospital. As he walks cautiously through the decayed hallways, suddenly he notices a shadowy figure darting behind the stepladder, just out of sight. Believing someone might be there, he calls out, but there is no response. His body was trembling as he scans the area. To his surprise and growing fear, there is nothing behind it. As he looks around, faint sounds echo through the hallway. The investigator quickly realizes he is not alone, but cannot explain what he saw. This footage comes from a hospital hallway that appeared completely still. In the footage, a wheelchair sits stationary between two chairs. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary, but suddenly, the wheelchair begins to move on its own, slowly shifting forward. What makes this footage even more unnerving is the precision with which the wheelchair moves. It glides as though guided by an unseen force, aligning itself neatly between the two chairs before coming to a halt. Some believes it could be the restless spirit of a former patient. However, many note that the eerie silence and precision of the movement add a haunting element that's hard to ignore. This spine-chilling encounter takes place outside an abandoned hospital, where a man exploring the area at night noticed something bizarre. His attention was drawn to a figure, a girl wearing a flowing white dress. She climbed the side of the building with a strange, almost inhuman agility. The man continued filming, calling out to her, but the figure gave no response. To this day, no one knows who or what this girl was. Some believe she might have been a ghost tied to the building's tragic past, while others suggest it was something far more sinister. This unsettling footage comes from the basement of a hospital. In the video, a metal door at the end of the hallway can be seen slamming open and shut repeatedly, with no one around and no visible cause for the movement. The security guard approaches the door slowly, clearly unnerved by its erratic behavior. As he reaches out to inspect it, the door abruptly stops moving, as if sensing his presence. What he discovers next is even more disturbing. Behind the door, there is no room, just a solid wall. There is no way anyone could have been causing the door to move from the other side. Yet it had been slamming open and shut moments before. This unsettling footage comes from an abandoned room in a hospital that was no longer in use. Staff reported hearing strange noises like faint thuds and scraping sounds coming from the room late at night. Curious and concerned, they decided to review the security footage to uncover the source of the disturbance. In the footage, the room appears empty at first, but then something strange happens. The chair in the corner begins to move on its own, dragging slightly across the floor as if being pulled by an unseen force. As if that wasn't eerie enough, the medical stand near the chair suddenly wobbles and tilts as if mimicking the energy around it. The objects seem to interact with an invisible presence, leaving no clear explanation for their movement. Paranormal experts who later reviewed the footage suggested it could be residual energy from past events in the hospital. Whatever the cause, this haunting footage has left staff and viewers alike with more questions than answers, proving that some mysteries in old hospitals may never be fully understood. In this eerie footage from hospital, something truly bizarre unfolds. The video begins with the automatic doors at the entrance suddenly opening and closing, as though someone or something was walking through. At first, it might seem like a simple malfunction, but what happens next defies explanation. The security guard at the desk appears to notice someone entering. He stands up, grabs a register, and begins speaking, as though having a conversation with a patient. He even writes something down in the logbook, seemingly recording their entry. What makes this footage so chilling is that the camera shows no one in the room. The guard speaks, gestures, and even pushes the wheelchair forward, as if assisting an invisible person. His movements are precise, like he is interacting with someone who is not there. Later, when the footage was reviewed, staff confirmed that no one had entered the hospital at the time, and the automatic doors and the guard's behavior remain unexplained. Was this the work of a restless spirit from the hospital's past, or a case of a shared delusion? Whatever the explanation, this footage continues to haunt anyone who watches it, leaving more questions than answers.